Guys, this is it. It's the end of 2024. We're done. I am done trading. I do actually have one position open, but it's a swing trade that was sent to our Discord by one of the elite trading staff. So that doesn't really count because I'll be holding it into next year anyway. But yeah, let's have a little run through. So you'll see, obviously, this is blocked out because it's basically still its entry and it's a signal for our paying members, not for YouTube, obviously. But this account was started in September, the 5th of September 2024, at $24,000 roughly. It's now at $30,561. You can see here the history. So let me change this to all history just so you can see full details here. Obviously, I won't go through all of these trades, but there is quite a lot. And basically, we've had a lot of success just DCA trading. So what you can see, if we go into the daily time frame, normally what we would have done is just taken a swing trade on euro dollar. But there's two problems. One was that I was so convicted in the downside movement that I didn't want to just go for a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. I thought that would have been cutting off my profits too much. I knew there was more potential within this market. So that was the first issue. But the second issue was there was no entry. I could not get into this market with the way that I trade on higher time frames. The model just wasn't there. So we had one pullback here, but again, it wasn't going to work for the way I swing trade. So the only option I really had was to go in for these DCA positions. Now, I've already made videos about this and stuff, so I'm not going to go into it in super in-depth detail and things. But it's been a very, very easy trading period since sort of August to September with euro dollar, New Zealand dollar, pound dollar, basically all of the dollar crosses. Really, we've just seen either strong upside or strong downside. So, for example, US dollar CAD has seen strong upside moves, euro dollar strong downside moves. It's been very, very easy markets to trade. So that's basically all I've been doing for the past couple of months. So what I'm going to do is show you the MyFX book here. I'll refresh so you can see it's legitimate. There'll also be a link to this in the description if you want to check it yourself and verify it. But you can see here 22.02% up. I did have a stop loss this morning, actually. It was a little bit unfortunate. It did bring my overall profit down from 23.5%. But you know, we can't be picky after such a great period. So you can see we did actually have some periods of drawdown. This wasn't all smooth sailing. We went from a 5.5% realized profits, this was closed profit, down to a, what was this? Peaked at 6.1% realized loss. So that's what caused this drawdown here of 11.32%. This was that period, and it was just a bad trading period. There's no excuses. Again, I've spoken about this before. It was one of those things. However, if we look at when this was, it was in October. So let's look at October's results. 1.7% gain, regardless of just over an 11% drop in equity or balance. I still came out in profit. I managed to scrape back that 11% and make even more on top of that, leading to a 1.7% return. November, incredible month, 11.6%. December, 5.1%. So obviously that's this month, currently up 5%. And I'm not trading now. Again, I do have one position open here that I'll block out. But again, that should be closed into next year, not now. So nothing really to cover on that one. But yeah, the start of the account was quite slow, very stable, 2.4%, 1.7%. But the end of the year has been very, very strong. So if we look here, the trades is a huge amount of trades. Obviously, this is looking at it in a relative view to how I previously would have traded or how I normally trade. Obviously, the past few months have been a bit of a special situation where I couldn't get into any swing trades, so I have been DCAing. Basically, that's all I've been doing, which again is not really how I trade actually. But we're going to start incorporating that a little bit more within Elite Traders. We're going to start sort of not sending out signals. We're not doing DCA signals. It's too risky. But I'm going to be more public, more vocal about my DCA positions so members can sort of follow along in real time and that type of thing. So yeah, a huge amount of trades. You can see the win rate is still very good. A 67% win rate on 351 positions is very strong. Now, the downside really is the Sharpe ratio is very low. A 0.09 Sharpe is not impressive. That's not something I'm very happy with. So something I need to work on into next year. But this is where it gets a little bit difficult, because a Sharpe ratio essentially is measuring the volatility of your portfolio. So your profit to drawdown, essentially, or your balance to equity. So the way DCA trading works is you actually want drawdown. You want to have those periods where the market moves against you so you can build up that position. So obviously that doesn't work well with a positive Sharpe ratio. So it's two sort of juxtaposition things. I think that's the right word for that. But yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but it's something I'm going to try and work on into next year. So if we're talking about lessons, the other lesson I learned this year as well was, oh, well, I'm not going to say lesson because I already knew it. It's just something I sort of didn't do as I should have done, or in hindsight, you know. So when we had the yen strength, I think we all know about that. So here on dollar yen, when we saw the market flash crash, we saw dollar yen go down, we saw the Nikkei, we saw all of the yen pairs just take a huge nosedive. I was the idiot in this market. I'm not ashamed to say that. Again, you know, my results are public, but unfortunately this isn't. This was on my other account that I do keep private. But yeah, this was a complete failure on my part. For first of all, due diligence, risk management, and I essentially just got married to my own idea, and it cost me a lot of money. So I was buying all of this move. Now, the problem was I wasn't buying it lightly. I wasn't going in with small positions. I was going in pretty heavy. I want to say pretty heavy. Obviously, it wasn't a huge amount of money, but it was enough to make me a little bit unsure and a little bit paranoid about the position. So I kind of had to basically just realize the loss. I think the market did start to pull back here. I actually entered right on the bottom down here. And I managed to get out of all of my positions when we saw that this high wasn't really going to lead to much. And that was quite a significant loss. So this led me to think, oh God, you know, I've been trading for such a long time. I understand these mistakes. This is such a new trader, such a retail thing to do, is to hold on to this idea and then just let that bad idea eat away your capital. And it was a humbling moment. It was one of those things where I was like, okay, I cannot do that again. It's been years since I've ever had that issue, and it came up again this year. And again, you know, lesson learned. It reminded me of being a little bit more open to change and not marrying ideas. Even if I think it's a solid idea, it's, you know, if the market's telling me I'm wrong. So that was one of those things. But again, you know, it's completely fine. We've made back that loss and profit now. You can see, you know, this is the way that my portfolios work. Is this is my public one. So the reason I have two accounts is because this is basically the one I show. You know, it's for elite traders, it's public, I can share my results on here, no problem at all. But the second account I've got that is private, that one's got it's basically my own family fund. So I don't want to start showing that one publicly because it's got long-term positions in, it's got short-term positions, it's got more capital than is just mine. So it's, you know, I'm not in a position where I want to start flaunting that on the internet and showing that one around. So that's why I made this one, is so I can actually show the results without having to be overly public with other people's finances, if that makes sense. So very good stuff. Very, very happy with the overall performance of this portfolio so far. So into next year, if we look at the way that this account's been going, and I think it'll be a little bit naive to say that I'm going to average 5% or 11%. So you can see here the monthly average, I can expect 5.88%. The issue is obviously that's bolstered heavily by November's large percentage gain. So I think it would be naive to say that that's going to be my real average. I would expect it to be more 2 to 3% on average. Obviously, we'll have to see as we go into next year. But I could quite happily expect, you know, 30, 40, maybe 45% gain next year if I can keep the momentum that I've got at the moment. So we'll see how it goes. You know, I don't want to sit here and say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and then not do it, because then I'll turn into an ICT copycat. Shout out to those of you who understand that. But yeah, I think this video is done. It's been a bit of a rambling video. It's not very well planned or anything, but I just wanted to do a little yearly wrap up here, and explain the portfolio, the situation, and some learning lessons that I have come across. But yeah, I think overall, very, very confident, very happy with the way that this is going. And again, the DCA trades are going to be a little bit more public now, especially in the Discord. I'm going to start sending messages when I open a new DCA position, and that sort of thing, so members can at least get, understanding and sort of follow along if they want, but they aren't signals. Let me make that very clear. So guys, that's it. I don't think there's anything else for me to share in this video. I hope you all have an amazing Christmas. I probably won't be uploading again until the start of next year. I am completely done, not just with trading. I'm done with marketing, done with YouTube, done with X, kind of. I'll probably still be tweeting. Done with everything, basically. So I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to relax, and I'm just going to chill and enjoy my Christmas with my family. So guys, I hope you do the same, and I will see you later. Last thing, actually, before you click off the video, we actually have 25% off for the Elite Traders Discord. That lasts forever. So if you get 25% off now, the recurring payment will be 25% off as well. But that is ending on the 1st of January. So guys, get that while you can. I will see you later. Have a great holiday period.